However, now it's time for the young African to read for themselves and find themselves relatable in the conversations that that they are having and in the books that they are reading. Let's introduce Linda to come through. As we said, she is the author of the children's literature book Tsibinkis, but she's also a foundation phase teacher. Linda, how are you?
Hello guys. Hi Benjamin. Hi Palesa. How you guys?
Are you good?
I'm very well. Thank you very much for asking. And you?
We're good, thank you. And thank you so much for deciding to join us on this beautiful Monday morning.
Oh
We're talking about children's literature.
Yes.
And I think it is something that is quite dear to your heart. You are a foundation phase teacher, which ties in so well, actually, to you doing something like this. But there's so many teachers out there, and not all of them are writing books. So what is it that made you take the decision to write the Tsibinkis?
Well, like you mentioned, it all started with me becoming a teacher. I went to school, did my undergrad. And then when I had the opportunity to become a teacher, right now I'm teaching at Patudi Primary School. So I was given a grade 1 class. And then, I was in the following year given a grade 2 class. So, for some reason, I have a very good rapport with children. I feel like whenever I'm in the presence of children, it's an honor. Yeah. And that's why for me, I've made it like my personal philosophy to always be in service to children. So, with the whole teaching and with the whole learning of becoming a teacher, one key aspect that I felt was lacking was emotional intelligence. It's a lot of theory and a lot of practical base, but we're missing that emotional intelligence. So because I do have a good rapport with my children, we will go outside the curriculum, and then I would find they would tell me things that are happening outside their school life. So as much as good things were happening, I discovered that not so nice things were happening as well. There's bullying. They do not really know or even understand the culture of libraries, so therefore they don't have a correct or a proper orientation to have a lifelong love for learning and reading. So, when I started incorporating these things into my classroom, I had a very good, reception from the kids. I'm like, but this is something that's needed. So with, bana batlale all day, every day, they tattletale, but, as a teacher, I have to take, these little issues very seriously, because you find, my kid is actually being bullied. It might be social bullying, and maybe social bullying because maybe there isn't enough knowledge around that. We do not take that seriously, only to find that, if we don't tackle these issues, especially at a basic or at a young stage, they do manifest. They manifest into bigger and, worse problems that we are actually incurring today, the social ills that we are seeing today. So as a foundation phase teacher, it is my duty to ensure that if my learner or even my children, I call them my children, I don't, there's no difference whatsoever. So if my children are, experiencing a battle, whether it be an academic or whether it be a social problem, or even if they're battling, to have the correct, moral values, then it's my job to identify that, number one, and to find strategies, to reinforce these correct concepts, so that at the end of the day, my learners are able to have, a proper and even positive orientation in life, and even towards their later years.
Well, let's take a quick break. I want to find out a little bit about why literature was a key for you to actually do that. Why did you think literature would be a key for you to help with the development of your students? We'll be back after this.
Thank you.
Channel Africa, #1 with
information. Be careful not to die here, because you can have it picks up the mic.
I didn't read the radio etiquette.
But we'll give it to you as we go, don't worry.
Yo. Hey guys, I'm nervous.
Okay, you're doing good.
You okay? Okay.
It's just the mic, babe. You know how nerve-wracking it is to stand in front of little children.
I was like, how did Palesa do it? Like, I'm sure on your first day, like, not with this, because I'm sure you got the handle. Like, were you banging around on the table?
Yeah, like you forget little things because you don't understand.
Yeah. You know, as a teacher, I bang a lot, you know.
Oh yes.
Yeah. So, yeah, I think it's a lesson learned today. Especially now going back into the holiday from the holidays, Rabula next week.
Yeah. Okay.
And connect with us.
12 minutes past 11 o'clock. You are tuned in to Channel Africa. Thank you for joining us on our various platforms. Thank you to those who are joining us on Facebook. We see you, Denzel Denara, live from Chipenge, Zimbabwe. Thank you for joining us. I see Derek Mazarura is also joining us right here on Channel Africa. We're speaking to Linda Kumalo, author of a lovely title. I love this title.
Yeah.
I think it's the title of the century that Sibinki's, the know-it-alls.
The know-it-alls.
We can relate to that.
Smarty pants.
You were talking earlier on, Linda, about how you actually had a passion for teaching and the fact that you saw a gap in the teaching methodology. Why did you go to literature and literature that focuses on your children and localizing the language? Why was that important for you?
You know, reading is important in a nutshell. You know, when a child reads, they are able to go into their own world, and they are able to explore various ways of expressing their creativity and imagination. And from there, you can actually get some really, you know, beautiful ideas and concepts from children. And, you know, children want to express, you know, their everyday lives and what they go through. And what better way to do it than, you know, to bring it through literature. So with the literature, it started with having a basic conversation in my classroom. You know, we then identified that, okay, we are experiencing these problems, you know, as learners. So what do we do about them? You know, you find that, okay, it's not just me who's having this problem. There's another learner that's having this problem. So it also eases them to a state that, you know, at least they're not going crazy. This is really happening to them. And then as a custodian of my learners, you know, it is my duty to ensure that, you know, if my children come to me with such issues, then I do something about it. And for me, doing something about it was putting it in something that's not temporary, but something that's permanent, something that they can go back to, refer to. And when they keep going back to a book that they love and that they are able to relate to, these concepts, they get embedded in these kids, and you know, they have a proper orientation in their foundation, and they actually become, you know, proper and beautiful citizens in their later years. So it starts with a basic conversation and ensuring that these ideas and these concepts are put in a place where they can refer back to them, and not just on a temporary basis, but on a permanent basis. So literature for me is very important in that aspect.
Absolutely. I mean, you tackle quite a number of social ills or you know, or things that you've identified, social things that you've identified in their community, in their direct surroundings that you wanted to put in this book. And some of those are like bullying. So there's the bullying, there's importance of environmental education.